Hi everybody, this is Alchemist2 and I'm back again with another book review. But first, I am just tickled pink and as pleased as punch that Peter Capaldi is the 12th Doctor. Now, he played on Torchwood, which I've never watched, but I will eventually since I just recently procured the entire series, so I'm certain that I'll enjoy it. Even though there are a lot of fans that say that the Children of Earth, or that particular part of the series, which was season 3, I think, had a lot of controversial reviews. But I'm actually not here to talk about Peter Capaldi, handsome, dashing, charming, and good looking as he is. I like this more mature choice. I think that the directors did marvelously well, and I've already fallen head over heels for the guy, so yay BBC, and huzzah Stephen Moffat and Russell T Davies, and bully on all of them. But I'm actually here to talk about The City of Glass. Now, this is the third book in the series of Mortal Instruments. Next book is City of Lost Souls, which I haven't read yet, and the final book is City of Fallen Angels. This, I feel, is the best book of all of the Mortal Instruments books, and the reason I say this is there are quite a few revelations that are uncovered about Clare, Sebastian, Simon, Valentine, the Imogen, and so many events actually occur. I'm not going to go into it because it would be a terrible, terrible plot. Valentine is still up to his usual shenanigans, and he is out for control of whatever he can lay siege to, and he is just a diabolical figure. He's just very twisted and arrogant, and is basically thumbing his nose at the clave, but I just don't like the guy. He's a jerk. And I still love Jace in this particular part of the series, and he even has more of a tragic past, and it's just absolutely abysmal, the torture that he goes through, particularly from Jocelyn, and it rips your heart out. It tears it asunder, in fact. And I just thought, oh, you poor, poor innocent child. How could that happen to you? And it just reminds me of the whole idea of human transmutation in Full Metal Alchemist. I think it's the same thing. It is that forbidden. And I don't know if Valentine will be punished for his crimes or not, but I'm thinking that's something that drastic. And that Sinister will probably have great repercussions later on. I like the fact that my favorite ships are finally sailed in this particular book. Well, except for Simon. Simon, since he's become a daylighter, he has started turning all the heads of the ladies. It must be a vampire thing. I don't know. I'm thinking it is. But I like the idea that we learn more about the idea, the concept of why he is a daylighter, and it goes into that. And this book is just chock full of action, adventure, suspense, twists that I never saw coming, and just absolutely sensational characters, and Jace's typical nonconformist iconoclastic ways that just make you love him all the more. And he shows great resolve and compassion in this particular part of the saga, and he reveals himself to be a character with integrity, as well as a man who actually has a heart and a soul, and he has feelings, especially that for Clary. And it's a good thing that a lot of necessary elements are revealed in this particular book, because you would have thought that is absolutely terrible that they would be in love with each other. But in this particular part of the saga, you support it all the more, and you just want the best for them after what is brought to light is actually brought to light. I love the way that Cassandra writes. I just think that she's very vivid and succinct, and she writes in a very poetic and visual way. She's very descriptive, and there's no shortage of action in this particular book. A lot of fisticuffs actually happen, sword fights and all that. Really astonishing and remarkable, and this is phenomenal. And being that it takes place in the realm of the paranormal, I absolutely eat it up voraciously, and my appetite is never satiated concerning the realm of the paranormal or the occult. One aspect I found particularly fascinating here would be the mention of Kabbalistic myth, which would be the children of Lilith, and then the whole idea in the book of Genesis, the mark of Cain. Apparently she's done her research on biblical mythos, and that's what makes the book even more intriguing to me, and it just gives it much more of a metaphysical feel, I think, kind of ethereal. I'm not really sure what's going to happen next, although it does have a happy ending. I will say that, and I did enjoy that quite a bit. I'm all about happy endings. I'm just such a schmaltz. I don't know why. I can't really describe exactly my purpose or meaning for that, but it's just something that I have always savored. I think the book in and of itself is the most fast-paced, even though it is 500 pages long. I would have read it in 2 days had I had time, but I've been so busy with other occupations, and I've been occupied. I don't mean to be redundant, but it's true. I have been just laden with different aspects of life flying in my face all at one time simultaneously, but I think that everything will start to kind of level off in the near future, and I'm planning on reading City of Lost Souls fairly soon, which is the next to last book in the series. So I'm also very, very excited and just extremely eager to see City of Bones, because the trailer itself looks absolutely intense and very, very incredible. It's marvelous, it's enchanting, it has the whole air of kind of the unknown about it, which I really enjoy, and it's that age-old story that we've been seeing and we're familiarized with from the days of Greek mythology, good versus evil, that eternal conflict. Of course, with this particular book, the your heroes and your villains aren't really clearly delineated. They are various shades of gray, and she makes that quite crystal clear. I love the idea that we are given a glimpse as to how twisted and brambled and demented and delirious that Valentine actually is. And I'm so hopeful that he gets what's coming to him, because he really deserves it. I mean, I hate to say it that way, but He's just a wretched, inhumane monster. Is that the word that he uses to describe his son is actually very ironic. I think he is referring to himself. Other than that, I really can't say too much about the series, other than I'm absolutely adoring it cover to cover, and I'm so very avid to read the next book. More than likely, I'm going to just inhale it like I did this one. I'm looking forward to reading the prequel, which would be Clockwork Prince, Clockwork Princess, and it's actually Clockwork Angel, Clockwork Prince, and Clockwork Princess is the prequel. It's interesting that she wrote Mortal Instruments and then wrote her prequel. Yeah, I've done that too with the story I recently well, it's not really completed, but I'm in the process of writing some more tales concerning my dozen heroes and heroines. And again, it's that age-old story of the dark versus the light, and it's more on a universal scale in this instance. But I'm really savoring it quite a bit. Amongst other things, I am going to be writing about a show that my main character decides to produce with the help of his best friend, and he's able to get supports from and backers from Kickstart, and finally he's able to put on a variety show, which really hasn't been done well since the days of Lawrence Welk, in my opinion. I know it makes me sound so old, but yeah, and a lot of people are looking at me and thinking, you know who Lawrence Welk is? Yeah, my parents had me when they were older, so I'm definitely keenly aware of Mr. Welk's incredible mass of talent at the time where entertainment was actually entertainment. But anyhow, I'm not saying everything isn't, but at that time I think that was the pinnacle, and it was it was just the type of entertainment that was not damaging. Everybody could watch it and nobody would get any wrong ideas from it, and it's just very innocent in its way. I really don't want to go into another dissertation. I won't go there. I'm sorry. I don't know how I got off on that track of thought, but I'm going to be writing another script. It's about a a normal everyday human. He discovers that his next door neighbors are actually wizards. Yeah. I got the idea from a television show that was canceled over here, which I was kind of upset about because I'd just become a fan of it. It was called Wizards versus Aliens, written by one of my favorite people. I just mentioned him earlier, Russell T Davies, who is an absolute genius in whatever he does. He's just a paragon of creative intellect, I feel, and someone should definitely harness his brain in a jar and keep it for science sake, and that would be an interesting experiment in and of itself. Other than that, I'm working on Outdoor Learning Academy, which is kind of a spiritual story in and of itself, and then I want to do that as a comic series. I'm going to have help because I can't really do comic books on my own. I don't have the time to really sit down and draw. The same thing would be for 12 Lights, because 12 Lights would so easily segue into a graphic story so very easily. I could see it just being a web comic. Um, the idea that inspired that was Homestuck, actually, and it has nothing to. My story really doesn't have anything to do with Homestuck in and of itself. It's a story all on its own. The only thing that it even resembles um, Andrew Husse's tale, or his epic, I should say, is the fact that my 12 characters have different zodiac signs, and that's the only link to that. And I'm sure that a lot of people will probably notice that if they read it. I've written a prequel and then the original story, and then I'm going to be writing Underground Justice, which I think could work very well as another webcomic. I won't go into what it's about right now, but you have a vigilante posse. Basically, that's as a very quick summary, that's pretty much the whole plot. And they exist underground, like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles do, and they fight crime whenever crime exists. You only have one character who acts like an envoy or an emissary, or just the only link to the human, or what they call the overdwellers realm. And I really like that terminology there. Other than that, I'm going to be working on another tale that was inspired by the Wolverine, although it doesn't really resemble anything dealing with the Wolverine except just the Japanese culture part. And it's a love story. These two missionaries, they spread the gospel in Japan, and their son and daughter go to school, even though they're considered Gaijin, which basically means foreigner in Japanese. Some people would pronounce it Gaijin. I guess you could pronounce it either way and still be considered correct. I'm not certain. Anyway, it's called the Gaijin, and my main female character, she falls in love with a aspiring neurosurgeon. Well, actually, he's going to become a neurosurgeon, and at first, his traditional family doesn't really want him getting married to a white devil woman, but that soon changes, and they realize that she's more Japanese than she is American, just because of how much deference she shows them and how polite she is, and she's a lady of the utmost caliber, and she possesses so many qualities that would lift her up into this echelon of acceptance of my other main character's parents, and their eyes and their understanding of him, and their acceptance of her. So that'll be good. That'll be a lot of fun and entertaining to write. And actually, there's a writers group that's going to be forming fairly soon. So I actually got the 10th off, which to me I think is a real plus in my direction, because I really want to get involved with this, and hopefully maybe I can get some possible support for my work. But as I was saying before, and I'm sorry, I don't know how I got so out in left field, and forgive me for that, but City of Glass is the utmost of all the books, in my humble opinion. I think that it's the zenith of the series to this point. I'm going to read The City of Fallen Angels and The City of Lost Souls, of course. And I will definitely be doing my reviews of those. Uh, According to future, I'm hoping to see Planes, but I'm probably not going to be seeing it with Dad because the last time I went to see an animated film, he fell asleep in it, and I just didn't care for that very much. I thought I should have gone by myself. Harumph. But he just doesn't have good interactions with soda. It makes him sleepy, so I don't hold it against him. I also plan on seeing The Butler, which has Oprah Winfrey in it, and Robin Williams, and Forest Whitaker, and I could go on, but I won't. There's a lot of really star-studded quality people involved in this film, and I am psyched to see it. It looks fabulous. Of course, I also want to see Elysium when it comes out, which I am calling the the live action version of Battle Angel Alita. Um, I'm looking forward to seeing Kick Ass 2, but of course, Dad probably won't be taking me to see it. I probably will be seeing it on my own, more than likely. I don't know. Percy Jackson, of course. Percy Jackson, Sea of Monsters, definite, because as you well know, I am just absolutely agog over Greek mythology, and I am utterly geeky about it, and I'm really not so um, um, keen on the subject as I should be. I should it should be my expertise, but unfortunately it is not. But hopefully in the future it will be someday. Basically, that's all I have to say about City of Glass and the fact that I give it 2 thumbs up, and I definitely recommend it to any of you out there who have just started reading the saga. Just continue reading. I'm sure that you'll find, like myself, that you will be um, head deep and just drowning in the absolute adrenaline rush that this book is. And it truly is tremendous, and I absolutely adore it. It's just magnificent. And I can't say enough about this stellar book, and I'm looking forward to the final 2 books in the series. And of course, there are going to be more. I went to shadowhunters.com, and she's writing another saga. But this Cassandra Clare certainly is prolific. Other than that, that's basically all I have to report for the time being, and I will return as soon as possible with more movie reviews and parodies, and perhaps even cosplay in the near future. I just lack the necessary accoutrement for that, but what are you gonna do? Poor student. It sucks.